Hello, my name is Jonathan LeBouef. I'm a student with Nichols State University. Today I'm going to talk about an incident that happened in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at an Exxon refinery. I'm going to go do an overview of what happened. I'm going to show you a list of the OSHA PSM elements. Then I'm going to explain which of those elements was the root cause of why the incident happened, and then go over a few things that could have been done to prevent it. First off, the incident itself. They were doing some routine maintenance on a gearbox which sat on top of a pressure valve. These gearboxes were put on with brackets which could be removed to where you can manually turn the valve on or off, open or close if you needed to with like a pipe wrench or some other tool if the gearbox was malfunctioning. And in this particular situation, the gearbox did or was malfunctioning, so they went to take off the gearbox and stuff, which this particular gearbox sat on top of the pressure plate for the valve. And when they took the plate off, which they took 4 bolts out of the pressure plate as well, not realizing that it was on the pressure plate. And then when they opened the valve, the gas vapor shot out, went all over the place, found an ignition source, at which point it exploded, causing 4 of the workers to be severely burned. They did not have any kind of written procedure on doing this particular job size, this job task, and they did not do any kind of assessment before conducting this job task. These are the OSHA PSM elements, which require these companies to have on hand and to actually conduct during normal working procedures. As in this case, they should have done what's called a process hazard analysis before actually taking the gearbox off. As you can see in the illustration, there are 2 types of brackets that are used at this facility. 97% of the facility had been changed and put new brackets in place, which did not mount to the actual pressure plate for the valve. This particular one had not yet been replaced. Had they done a hazard analysis before conducting the operation or before performing this maintenance, they would have seen and noticed that this particular bracket was in fact attached to the pressure plate, and by taking those 4 bolts out, it would have caused the issue that it caused, and they could have prevented it. Had they done this analysis, they would have noticed that those 4 brackets were on the pressure plate and that those 4 bolts should not have been taken out. At that point, they would have taken the 2 out on the top that's also attached to the gearbox itself, which would have been a safer way to deal with this. And then that whole incident would have been avoided. Lessons learned is that the company needs to establish a detailed and accurate written procedure for all work being done, no matter how tedious it is, and that each worker should be trained and should be tested so that they could prove that they can perform all the anticipated job tasks safely. By using a hierarchy of control, it would help to mitigate and to identify hazards before things like this would happen, before an incident like this would occur. like making sure that they have a job, process hazard analysis done before each task. Doesn't have to be lengthy, doesn't have to be, a long process, but it should still be done. And here are some references as to where I got the information that I used for this PowerPoint.